kind of depict him as this very fancy person.
Yes.
There was a lot of words you could have used, and they used it very nice way.
That's how I perceive it.
That's right.
So Tim was in a movie a number of years ago where he played a character that I think is very opposite of the description that you kind of portray of him as a person. And I'm curious what you would think of that description. I'll give it to you in a second. And then Tim, if there's any roles that you know that Rich has played that you think are like the antithesis of who he is as a person.
What is this movie? Tell me what the role to the Tim role was.
It's called The Luck of the Irish. Tim plays. Well, you played basketball at the end. Basketball playing leprechaun is just not really how I picture you as a person. But I'm curious what you think of Tim in that role.
Well, I didn't see the movie, so I don't know. But I can tell you, the one thing that doesn't strike me as that far afield for Tim is his love of the Irish and all things Irish. I mean, he's a massive Frank Turner fan, loves Guinness. Like, you probably had a Jameson or two in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Familiar with that.
Yeah, so just as a guy who hasn't seen the film, Tim and Irish don't seem that far apart. I mean,
True.
You know, Tim and short don't really make any sense, but maybe it wasn't a short leprechaun. I just sort of thought that was traditionally how they were
It was basketball shorts, and even worse, a tank top. It was horrific.
There you go. And this film is called Luck of the Irish? It's a good movie?
Yes.
I'll ask them that.
Yes.
All right.
I remember it fondly.
Well, we'll have to check it out.
And then Tim, are there any roles that you think you've seen Rich play that you find just hilarious or like?
I've never seen his work. Yes, it's a little tricky just how much I can talk about it, just because we're in structure.
Oh, right.
But it's a series about the 101st Airborne.
Right.
That I'm not going to mention what network it was, but Richard was so wonderful in this. And just the thing about this role is like just what a good guy this character was. And when he meets his, spoiler, in this World War II, not a lot of people survived. But the way you go out, I was so shaken by it. And really, like, it affected me deeply. I was like, no, he can't. Just because your character was such a great guy, it hurt me to see you not be there.
Yeah.
But really, it was that role, and I don't remember the character's name, I'm sorry.
That's fine with you. We'll leave it at well, I can say the name because it's a real person. Right, so Sergeant Monk, Skip Monk was the actual gentleman.
I'll say it took me years to finally watch that show because I was so angry that I couldn't get an audition for this thing. My agent was away at the time. And it still wasn't like, well, freaking Spade got in, what about me? But I was spiteful, so I didn't watch it out of spite. And then I finally sat down and was like, okay, I need to watch this for my friend. And you and I met Damien in the UK doing one of the many international destinations we've done a convention in. We found our nice. Imagine this, Rich and I found ourselves out in London drinking. I don't know how it happened.
That was weird. I'm like, what? Okay.
Ale, you say? This is tasty.
What is this Guinness you speak of? With the gods, I say. Yeah, so you met some of the guys.
Yes, and so I was like, all right, I need to watch this series. Sat down and watched it, and was so glad. I wonder, Allison and I were just talking that night, we were all at dinner. Realized she'd never seen it. I need to rewatch it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since it aired, but my boys are almost at the age where I'm going to show them. Because I think it's important, not just because of football.
Historically, no, they have to see it.
Yeah, historically it's an important piece of history captured on film.
Not just to promote the show, but just to promote those real human beings.
Right, and it really interviews the guys.
And the fact that we're at the time in our lives now when a lot of those men are passing away.
Right. Yes, it is. it is something that I will revisit. And thank you for your question.